Yeah, I get that question all the time. So you're a dancer, you're an actor, like what do you like to do more? For me, I like to say I'm a storyteller. I would say you need to be your number one cheerleader. It is a really hard industry. You're getting constant rejections. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I like you, but," or, "I like this about you, but you didn't have this," or it could be as simple as you're too tall, you're too short, and it's so hard to not take those things personally and to like not let those affect you. Real love to me is self-love.
What's up, you guys? It's your girl Bianca B, and welcome to the Bianca B Show, where we talk about business, finances, and friendships. So I'm super excited about today's guest. She is an actress and dancer. You have seen her around. She's super, super talented. She's also in the new Lifetime movie premiere. It's Real Love with Mary J. Blige. And I'm super excited to talk with her today about her journey and where she's from. And yeah, Kenya Jordan, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Good. So I kind of want to get a backstory. You're from Vancouver, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Vancouver, Canada.
yes, I like Canada. The ketchup is amazing, and the
I
talk about that. So how
love
was
that.
it? How was it coming to America, and like how was that journey for you? Like,
Actually, they filmed here. They filmed in Vancouver. Yeah.
awesome.
So it was great. Yeah, it was really fun to have them come out here and because Da Vinci and Asiana both had never been here before. Cameras, the director, had been here to film another show before, so he'd been here, but it was the first time for them. So it was really interesting. Yeah, it was awesome.
And how did you get started in entertainment?
So as a kid, I actually did like commercials and small things. I think I started when I was like 3 or 4. But I was a really busy kid. So I was like an athlete. I did basketball and softball and dance and swimming. And so I was just in like pretty much everything you could be in. And dance really took over for me. I was doing it competitively. And so everything else kind of took the back burner and everything. And then with dance, it got really serious when I was about like 16, 17. I signed with my agency, a new agency. And from there, it just started booking a couple dance jobs and then slowly getting into acting. And yeah.
And what was the transition like from dancing to acting? Did you take classes? What was your process like?
Yeah, so I took some classes for sure. I think it's really beneficial for people to take classes. I think natural talent is incredible and like amazing, good for you. But I think it's really important that you learn the craft behind it. And there's certain things that as natural talent's great, but there's certain things that you can take from classes, like little exercises that can help you and really like dial you in and draw you in. So I started taking a few classes like that. And yeah, that really opened my eyes up to the whole acting side of everything.
And what is the audition process like between dancing auditions and acting auditions? And like, what have you learned from both?
So they're very different. Since COVID, though, a lot of auditions are now, self-tapes.
Mhm.
Before COVID, though, dancing auditions, you would go into the room and you would be there, it depended how long, sometimes you would have like an hour or something to like learn the combo and do it in groups. And
Mhm.
then from there, they would cut people right there and then do the next round. And then you would stay. So you could be there for an hour, you could be there for 5. It really just depends. Those aren't as common as much anymore, at least in Vancouver. A lot of them are self-tape. So you get sent a video now and you learn it and then you find a way to film it either in a studio, in outside, wherever you can. And acting auditions, same thing, used to be all in person. You would go into the casting room and you would have the casting director there and the reader, and you would do your audition there and in front of them, and they would film it. Now it's all on self tapes. So, you find your own space. You can either book a studio, book a coach, or film at your house with a friend. I'm lucky that I have a lot of friends in this industry. So we help each other with all of our self tapes, both dancing and acting, which is really great.
Which one is the hardest? Dancing tapes or audition tapes?
It depends on the audition. Sometimes it's really hard to learn a full dance off of a video. Sometimes it's like, is this the left leg? Is this the right leg? Like, is it mirroring? What is it? And then finding the space to do that can be really hard. But sometimes, when you're staring at a piece of tape and trying to cry looking at this piece of tape, is really difficult. But, that's the life of an actor. So
Yeah, and so let's kind of talk about Real Love. It premiered in June. So how
yeah.
was that process like? And how did you get a part of this show?
Yeah, so I did a self tape, and then I had a Zoom callback, and from there I heard back. I think it was like a week later or something like that, and then it was like the week after that I had wardrobe
Oh, wow.
and yeah, it was really quick. It was a very quick process with this one. I was very fortunate though. I think Princess, who played Terry, I think her process was a little bit longer. She auditioned for it a few months back. I think I was in like the second like call for auditions for Ashley. Like I think that there was one couple months before and I didn't hear anything about it, and then was presented it a couple months later. So mine was a lot quicker and like was really fast paced with it. Yeah, and then right after the wardrobe, we had our table read like a couple days later, and so yeah, it was really quick for me.
And what was this experience like? Did you get to meet Mary? Did you like how was the cast?
So unfortunately, I didn't get to work with Mary personally, but I did get to work with this incredible cast. Asian and Da Vinci are
Mhm.
so incredibly talented, and they had worked together before on a couple projects. So when they walked into the room, they had already had this like, they knew each other, this comfortable energy. And I actually had known Princess. We grew up both in a town that was like really close to each other. So we had known each other just through friends of friends, and so we had that little backstory together. But getting to meet everybody was so great. Everybody was so friendly. We clicked really well and became friends. I actually am still really good friends with Princess and Milan, who plays Sasha. They both live in Vancouver, and we get together every couple months to try to catch up. And yeah, I love both of them so much.
Like with entertainment in the industry, a lot of people say New York, LA, for entertainment.
Mhm.
Do you ever want to move to the States? Do you feel like you put your stamp in Canada? How is that? Because I've never, met people who work in Canada.
Right. Yeah, I mean, New York and LA are two amazing places. I would love to go to either and really focus on acting and everything, but as a Canadian, it's really hard to get your visa. It's a very difficult thing to do, and it's really expensive. But one day, fingers crossed, that would be the goal. Yeah, I would love to go to either, but as of Canada's work, I mean, other than the writer's strike happening right now, it's pretty busy in Vancouver. A lot of production companies like to film here. The dollars, it's a lot cheaper to film here. And we have the nature and the city and everything. So we can kind of make it look like a bunch of different places, which is great for us. But yeah, so it's pretty busy in Vancouver other than right now.
What were some challenges for you with the entertainment industry? What are some things that you learned? Because you're very young, and getting
Mhm.
into the industry, it could be challenging. What have you learned throughout this journey, and what advice would you give to young people?
I would say you need to be your number one cheerleader. It is a really hard industry. You're getting constant rejections. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I like you, but," or, "I like this about you, but you didn't have this," or it could be as simple as you're too tall, you're too short, and it's so hard to not take those things personally and to like not let those affect you. But if you have a good support system with whether that's friends or family or other people in this industry that can understand and relate to you and support you and cheer you on, I think that's like the most important thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so, out of all the characters you played and all the projects you worked on, are you similar to any of your characters?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say Ashley's probably the closest to me. The fashion, absolutely. Everything Ashley wore, I would 1000% wear. That was probably the one thing I was the most excited for. When I showed up, I was like, all of these fits,
Mhm.
so fire. Like everything was just so great. And the 90s fashion is just like top
Amazing.
tier.
Yeah,
Top
top.
tier. Yeah. Yeah. So I would definitely say that.
So what's next for you? Where do you want to take your career? Where do you see yourself going? What kind of roles do you want to play?
I would love to be on a TV show. I would love to be, a regular on a TV show or supporting lead. Um, I really have a lot of, I mean, people I really look up to, like Kerry Washington, Viola Davis, really strong, Black women empowerment and characters, ones that are so tough and just force of nature, really. Like I love playing those characters. I love embodying and really bringing that confidence into a character. Yeah.
And you know what's what I love about you saying that is, you're someone who's multi-talented. You're good at a lot of different things. And sometimes people feel like, okay, I have to stick with just acting or I have to stick with just dancing. What have you learned to like, with not being put in a box, and what advice would you give to people who are multi-talented and good at so many different things?
Yeah. Well, thank you, first of all. I actually have been thinking about this a lot this year. So it's funny that you asked that. People, yeah, I get that question all the time. So you're a dancer, you're an actor, like, what do you like to do more? For me, I like to say I'm a storyteller. I love to tell stories, whether that's my own, whether that's other people's. In dance, you can tell a story based on the way that you move, based on the song that you're dancing to. And I think that's beautiful. And
Yeah.
then I think with acting, you can tell that story through literally telling that story. So for me, I just want to do that. And whatever form I can do that in, that's what I want to do. That's my passion. So anybody, excuse me, anybody who is multi-talented, I think just follow whatever drives you, whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you the most passionate when you wake up in the morning and you're like, I want to do this. I want to be doing this every day for the rest of my life. Follow that. And that can lead you somewhere completely different. Who knows? In 10 years, I could not be an actor anymore. I could not be a dancer. I could be doing something else. But I just know that what drives me is storytelling.
Mm. And this generation, a lot of comparison and social media and things like that. How do you cope with, your mental and with social media and your peers and some people getting auditions and getting roles and things like that? How do you, mentally stay sane with social media and everything that's going on right now?
Yeah, I think that is a huge thing. I mean, everybody's going to compare, you compare. I mean, it's so easy now with social media, but you compare when you walk down the street, you see someone with a cute outfit, you're like, damn, I wish I wore that. Like, that's so cute, you're always comparing. But for me, I have such good friends around me, and we are always uplifting and supporting each other. And I really don't allow people in my life that are competing with me in that way. When I get auditions where my friends get auditions, we get the same ones. My sister is also an actor, so we get the same auditions all the time. And she actually just, congratulations to her, she just booked this role, which is, I auditioned for the same thing, and not a part of me that was like, oh damn, like, I'm really pissed off that she got that role. I was like, oh, that sucks that I didn't book that, but oh my God, I'm so excited for you. And I surround myself with people that have that same energy. I think that's so important, because otherwise, yeah, it's going to drag you down, and also therapy. That's a big one. I preach therapy. I think that's so important, just to have somebody that you can just talk to and just, not have somebody who's just there that doesn't have in a specific interest in your life. They're just there that you can just talk to and bounce ideas off of and listen to you. And yeah, therapy is important.
And so with Real Love, being the name of the show, I mean the movie, what does real love mean to you?
Real love to me is self-love.
Mm.
I think real love doesn't necessarily need to be a romantic partner. I don't want to discredit that. I think what they bring to your life is so beautiful, you know. But I think that in order to have real love, you need to have self-love first. You need to love yourself the way that you want your friends, your family, your romantic partners to love yourself, because that is going to make you so fulfilled, you know, loving yourself in situations that other people can't give that to you. Yeah.
I love that. Yes.
Thank you.
So, you know, what's next for you? Where can people follow you?
So right now this writer strike is kicking everybody's butt, you know, so it's slow, but I'm keeping myself busy with classes and training, keeping up with both for dance and acting, just doing as much as I can. But people can follow me on my Instagram. It's Kenya Jordan with 2 N's. That's not how you actually spell my name, but the other one was taken. So, but yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time out. I'm pretty sure 5 years from now, I'm gonna be like, I interviewed her and she is on a hit series.
Well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yes, yes.